in the world. If you look around you, you're probably seeing something that disturbs you. I know that's the case with me. If I watch the news, there's always bound to be something that gets under my skin that I see on television. This is 100% Forgiven Ministries with me, Gary Johnson, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to this discussion because it's a very important one. It's one that I believe goes to the heart of Christianity. It goes to the heart of morals. This is a discussion about morals, specifically tied to this upcoming election here in the United States of America. I believe that this election is extremely crucial, and it's so important to the future of this country. Whether Trump wins another term, another 4 years, or whether Biden wins, and he's in here for 4 years or 8 years, whatever that may be. Who you vote for is important. Who you vote for has an impact on the lives of others. That is just a fact. Whether you're going to whether you're going to vote for Trump or whether you're going to vote for Biden, either one of those votes is going to have an impact on society, and it's going to have an impact on people personally. It truly will. Now, let me start off with saying no party is perfect. There is absolutely no party on the face of this planet that has everything right. We don't always all agree on everything. The Republican Party is not perfect. The Democratic Party is not perfect. The Libertarian Party is not perfect. Independents, not perfect. Nobody's perfect. There's only one who's perfect, and that's God. But this does not take away from the fact that as a Christian, if you are a Christian, if you're not, I pray that you'll become one through faith in Jesus Christ. And come to Him and become a child of God. I plead with you. But this election comes down to you, if you're a Christian, your morals. I really believe this. I want to expound upon this. I want to open up with Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20, which says this: Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. Woe to them. Woe to anyone who calls evil good. Woe to anyone who calls sweet bitter. Woe to them. Let great sorrow come down on them. Who you vote for as a Christian, I believe, says a lot. Some churches don't want anything to do with politics. They think, oh, that's worldly. No, God has set up the government. Romans 13. The government's supposed to be God's avenger to those who do wrong. But God has established all of this. I believe that you cannot, in good conscience as a Christian, vote as a Democrat. You cannot vote for the Democrat Party. And this is not a personal bias against the Democratic Party. What I'm about to say, I would say exactly the same thing toward the Republican Party or any other party. And here is what I want to say. If you are going to choose to vote for a party, as a Christian, if you're going to choose to vote for a party whose top priority, one of their top priorities, is to continue the ongoing slaughter of innocent babies within the womb, not only first trimester, second trimester, but third trimester babies, to kill them. If you're going to vote for that party to further that agenda, which is what the Democratic Party upholds, they are pro-choice. They believe that it's okay to kill a baby within the womb. This is not okay. As a Christian, I cannot support this. I cannot, in good conscience, go to the polls and say, well, Joe Biden, you're going in, even though I know for a fact that you're going to uphold this sickening, satanic view of killing innocent babies, and then walk away thinking that I done God some justice. I can't do that, and I don't know how any other Christian can. If Trump did this as well, he would never get my vote, ever. No person who believes that it is okay to kill babies within the womb will ever get my vote, period. No, it's not happening. If if someone is going to go into political office and push an agenda like this, push the murdering of innocent babies, I can't vote for them in good conscience. I can't. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. When an abortion takes place, someone is interrupting the very work of God within the womb of a mother. This is sickening. Now, granted, if my memory serves me correctly, there was at one point Trump had the choice to fund the military or fund an agenda that went against Planned Parenthood. Unfortunately, he chose to fund the military instead of fighting against Planned Parenthood. And this is just based off memory. I don't have any article to share. I believe I heard about this like 2 years ago, and I was very upset with Trump. And that's why I go back to the point that no party's perfect. However, Trump has voiced his opinion highly that all life matters. Every single life matters. The life of an innocent baby within the womb matters. White baby, black baby, purple baby, yellow baby, doesn't matter. All babies matter. Period. All lives matter. Period. I do not know how, in good conscience, as a Christian, you can vote as a Democrat. The Democratic Party, and some Democrats have even come to the Republican side of the party, because they see how radically, how far left these people have gone. You got the Green Deal that they want to push. They want to limit how much red meat you eat. They want to take away a lot of factories, from my understanding. They want to completely change this country, turn it into a socialistic country. If you have private health care, you'll lose it. Joe Biden specifically said in a video, if you vote for me, and he's saying this to his listeners, if you vote for me, I'm not going to lower your taxes, I'm going to raise them. Well, I want my taxes to stay low and be lowered. Trump intends on furthering the goodness of this economy. Yes, before COVID hit, when COVID hit, it done some damage to the economy. But before that, the economy was booming. Unemployment rate for African Americans, beautiful. There's a lot that has been done good for this country under the administration of Trump, whether you like him or not. I'm not trying to uplift him as a moral figure, because I'll tell you what, he's got some issues. I got some issues. We all got issues. But I say this with love. You got issues too. And I say, meaning when I say that is, we all are not perfect people. So if we're looking at Trump saying, well, you're telling me not to vote vote for Democrat. You're telling me to vote for Trump, but Trump's got issues too. The Republican Party, they got issues too. Every decision he makes is probably wouldn't be pleasing in the eyes of God. You're right. I agree. However, in the big picture of things, voting for the Democratic Party is completely going to change, I believe, the route and the direction of this country. This is capitalism out the window. Socialism, here you go. They talk about free health care. That's going to cost trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. It's going to up our taxes. The money's just not going to be pulled out of thin air. But again, regardless of any party, I cannot in good conscience vote for some party that believes that it is okay to murder babies. I can't do it, and I don't know how you can either. Know for certain that if you vote this November for the Democratic Party, you are voting for the ongoing slaughter of babies. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Now, there was one time that I heard that Trump has never asked God for forgiveness. And if that's the case, that's a problem. It's a big problem. Now, I'm not asking for there to be any perfect president. I'm not asking for there to be any perfect party. But when it is crystal clear that the Democratic Party is literally fighting against God, trying to take God out of the Pledge of Allegiance, I can't vote for a party like that. Are you kidding me? And I don't know how you can either. As a child of God, you want your God to be emphasized, to be upheld. But if you vote for this party, they're trying to take God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, I'm not going to paint with such a broad brush. Not all Democrats agree with this. They don't. Not all Democrats agree with Democrats. Some Democrats, they will even say that there's been many Democrats that have went so far left that they can't even associate with them anymore. But, regardless, if you vote Democrat, you are voting for all of this stuff that goes against God to continue. I don't believe that you can please God and remain as a faithful be a faithful Christian if you're going to vote for the Democratic Party. Again, we all struggle, we all sin, we all fall short. We all make stupid decisions. I'll be the first to say that. I rely on God's grace all the time. But you have the opportunity right now, and I think it's less than 70 days now, to make your mind up on who you're going to vote for. I encourage you to vote for the party. Right now, I am saying the Republican Party. Vote for Trump. Because in the big picture of things, even if you don't agree with him on everything, he is the one who has God in focus. He is the one who has the sanctity of life in focus. He is the one who has the protection of this country in focus. The media is pushing an agenda. And the media, with Black Lives Matter, which I believe is it's just a political group. It's not about Black Lives Matter. There's been black people who have been killed by other black people. And in this movement, especially, there was a black man who was holding up a Trump sign. He was killed, I believe, for one of the people in this movement. And I stand corrected on that, but I believe that is what I heard. The fact of the matter is that the Democrats have such an agenda, and they're also trying to push for mailing in ballots. If anyone knows anything, that's a terrible, terrible way to vote. There's been many fraudulent crimes that have been committed by people. Votes have been lost, and it's very interesting, though, that the Democratic Party would say that rioting in the streets is okay. However, voting in person is not okay because the COVID, you want to stay 6 feet apart. However, it's okay to not stay 6 feet apart in the streets, rioting, protesting. It started by protesting, granted, it really did. And there's nothing wrong with a peaceful protest. But this has completely turned into crime. People are breaking windows, shattering windows, killing people. This is not a protest. This is a crime. People are committing crimes. And when I say the Democratic Party, I don't want to paint with such a broad brush, because not all Democrats agree on the same thing. But regardless of whether Democrats have different opinions about things, the moment anyone goes to the polls this year and votes as a Democrat, you are choosing to vote for the ongoing slaughter of innocent babies. Now, I know some people who, claim to be Democrats, say they, I've heard of them, or suspicion, they say that they don't support abortion. Well, if you're voting for the Democratic Party, you're supporting that. You're furthering that agenda. And this is no way, everything I'm saying is by grace. No way at all attacking anyone personally. This is just in light of what the scriptures say, in light of your relationship to God. I don't believe that you nor I can vote in good conscience as the church. If you are a Christian, if you belong to the body of Christ, we can't vote in good conscience for the Democratic Party this year. Until these things change, I will continue to vote for what I believe upholds God and will uphold this country and keeping it in right relationship with God. This country has gone downhill very fast, and it's by no means perfect, but in my good conscience, I cannot vote for the Democratic Party. And I wanted to take some time to share that issue. And again, thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. It is for the purpose of glorifying Christ, because at the end of my life, I want every fiber in me to have been spent on glorifying Christ. Even through all my perfections, relying on God's grace, as you do as well, I want to make it an effort every day to do what God wants me to do. Pray that you've been blessed by this, and I really hope and pray that you really focus on who you're going to vote for, and I encourage you to make the right decision, and which I believe is don't vote for the Democratic Party. Don't do it. I'm just going to be blunt. Don't vote for them. I don't believe that in good conscience you can do this. Until next time, God's peace be with you.